Welcome to the Painting Coach, and today I'm going to show you how to paint that brand new Aeldari Exodite kill team for Warhammer 40,000. A huge thank you to Games Workshop for sending me this model ahead of time. Let's get painting. So the first top tip I can give you is to not glue the torso of the rider down, just glue the legs on. This is going to make it a lot easier to paint, and as you can see, I've primed this with white scar spray. I've primed it with 3 or 4 very thin coats so that it covers nicely. I have not obscured any detail and there's no cracking. The first thing we're going to do is paint the beast, and I'm going to paint that using some Aethermatic Blue contrast paint. Now I want to paint this over all of the scales. Now if you're not sure which bits are this color, just check the box art, but essentially that lighter underbelly, I don't want to get too much on there. Now if I do get some on there, just quickly clean your brush off, make sure it's damp, not wet. Now you can just brush it away and soak it up into your bristles so it doesn't stain that underbelly, which we want to be much lighter. So get this across all of the scales and make sure you've got nice even coverage. When that's completely dry, I'm going to go back in with a second coat of Aethermatic Blue, but I'm going to focus this not so much on where you've got the transition with that lighter underbelly, but more towards the top of the scales where we want to have darker scales. And because this is a really thin contrast paint, as it dries, it'll just blend into the layer underneath and you'll start to build up some nice progressive darker areas. So you get some nice color transition across all the scales and it'll really stand out on the tabletop. To do that smoother, lighter underbelly, I'm still with Aethermatic Blue contrast paint, but I've also taken some contrast medium and I've mixed this up in a 1-to-1 ratio. So 1 part contrast medium, 1 part Aethermatic Blue. And I'm going to paint this over all of those lighter areas. Now, be careful with this. The one thing you want to make sure of is that it doesn't pool too heavily right in the middle. So just go around with your brush and wick it away if it does that. But generally, again, it's a nice and easy, straightforward step that gives you that really nice lighter underbelly. We'll go and highlight it later on. But for now, this is a nice look. I want to start darkening down the central spine of the beast now, as well as the nose. As you can see on the box art, it's a lot darker. So the color I'm using for that is Kroxigor Scales. Now, this pushes a little bit more to the bluey green than perhaps the Aethermatic Blue does, but that's absolutely fine. It's not going to make a huge difference. Just work it on there. Again, not too much on your brush, and focus it only in the middle. It will start to seep out a little bit, and you'll get a little bit of blending that way as well. On some areas, such as the top of the head and the nose and the beak of the mouth, or I think it's a beak, you may need to put a second coat on just to get an even coverage. Now, if you want to just leave that there from the flesh of the beast, you absolutely can do. But I'm going to go in and start highlighting because I want it to be a little brighter, and I also need to tidy up some mistakes as well. So the first thing I'm going to do is take some Kabalite Green, and I'm going to use this to highlight the darkest areas. So where I've put that Kroxigor Scales, I'm going to use it to highlight everything. So I'm using a very small brush. I've got a really good tip on it. This is a size 1 Artist Opus. Check the link in the description if you want to pick up your own and use my code to get 5% off. What I'm looking to do here is not necessarily paint all of the scales, but just pick out the prominent ones. And to do that, I'm just drawing a line down the middle and then a small V underneath. Now, this can be quite time consuming, but it's worth it in my opinion to just get that little bit of extra. For any sharp edges, you can drag the brush across it. And then for any kind of more fleshy parts, like you've got the claws and you've got the hands as well, you can just put a little bit more of this on there as you continue to highlight. I'm going to keep building that highlight now with Sybarite Green, and essentially I want to keep this inside the Kabalite Green from the last step. So the Sybarite Green is a lot brighter than the Kabalite. Again, I'm using the same brush, got a really good tip on it, and I'm just working my way across the model, making sure that I get some nice crisp highlights. If you put it on too thickly, you can always go back in with the Kabalite Green and re-highlight it up. The last highlight is going to be on the brightest parts, and for that I'm using Gauss Blaster Green. Now, this isn't a particularly good paint. It doesn't cover particularly well. It's a little bit thick without any good coverage, but it's the kind of color we need for this. So again, we're just going to focus this kind of more on those Aethermatic Blue scales that we've got, the much brighter scales, and obviously just little dots of it inside where we've highlighted up with Sybarite Green as well. And this is just going to overall bring the whole model together and give you a nice bright kind of almost ethereal look in some places, but it really does stand out quite nicely. And particularly when we paint the rider as well, it's going to really pop. To fix any mistakes that we've got on the smooth underbelly and to give a little bit of a highlight, I'm going to take some white scar. Now, the reason I'm using white scar is because it's fairly translucent, it doesn't cover particularly well, and that's exactly what we want in this case, because we just want to build up a nice highlight and make sure that it's not a harsh transition. I do use AK white later on, but that's because I want a much harder white, so this is more convenient for that. Moving on to the very, very colourful parts of the monster's head and those kind of frills that he's got coming out from his cheeks. This is a 50-50 mix of Moot Green and Flash Gitz Yellow, and this gives you a really nice bright lime green colour. And what I'm going to do this is paint all of those areas. So all the spines and the membrane that we've coming back, I'm going to paint all of those. And I'm also going to paint a little bit around some of those scales by the eye and the mouth. Now we're going to build this colour up gradually, so don't worry too much if you put it on too thickly. Next, I'm going to go in with pure Flash Gitz Yellow, and I'm going to highlight the spines that we can see coming out from the cheeks. I'm also going to highlight around the scales, and I'm also going to start highlighting that membrane as well, just leaving the mix from the first step in those recesses, because we don't want it to be completely yellow. We do want to keep that green color in there. And one thing to mention is we do go back and forth and tidy this up a little bit as we're kind of working those colors in. I'm then going to take a 50-50 mix of white scar and that Flash Gitz Yellow, and I'm just going to highlight the top of the spines here just to give them a nice bright pop. To add the orange color, I'm going to take some Troll Slayer orange, but I've thinned this down quite a bit, so it's maybe 2 or 3 parts water to Troll Slayer orange. I'm making sure I haven't got too much on my brush, and I'm brushing this downwards so that the orange or the most paint is distributed right in the corner of where that membrane and those spines meet. So don't worry if it's a little untidy, we can tidy it back up with some yellow later, but we don't want too much on our brush for this. And the other thing we're going to do as well is we're going to just work this into the eye socket and across some of those scales around the eye as well. Now, don't forget, this is going to be very thin. Make sure that when you get the paint on your brush, you tap it on a paper towel to take a lot of the moisture out. That's going to really help. Next up, take some Screamer Pink, and I painted the tongue with this and the inside of the mouth. Don't worry too much if you get this on the teeth. You probably have to get some nice coverage. Then I took some Emperor's Children and just highlighted the tongue and also some of the membrane on the jaw, or some of that stretchy cartilage on the jaw. For all the claws, I based them using Abaddon Black, and again, fairly straightforward doing this. Just take your time and don't spill it on bits of flesh that you've already finished. The first highlight that I'm going to do on the claws is going to be with Mechanicus Standard Grey. So generally, we're just looking to drag this along the sharp parts of the model. And then we'll finish that black highlight with some Administratum Grey, again, keeping that inside the Mechanicus Grey of the previous step. We'll move on to paint the leather next. Now, there's quite a bit of leather on the model. You don't have to do it in 2 different colours. I am going to do it in 2 different colours to show you that. But if you do want to do it all in one, then you can do it as well. So basically, what I'm doing is taking some Dryad Bark, and I'm going to use this to paint where I want to have a darker, kind of desaturated leather colours. So I'm painting this over the leg colours, the chaps, and I'm also going to use it across a lot of the leather on the backpacks as well. Uh, the whole stuff for the rifle, and also I'm going to use it for the gloves on the actual rider as well. I'm then going to shade all of that using Nuln Oil. Now, again, important you don't let this settle too heavily. You don't want it to pool and to be ugly, dark puddles. You just want to make sure that you've got a little bit of a tint in there and that's in all those recesses. So just take your time when you're applying this. When that Nuln Oil is completely dry, you can go back in with some Dryad Bark just to start to highlight things up. Now, what we're essentially looking to do here is leave the Nuln Oil in the absolute darkest recesses. Also, don't forget the leather gloves and also the belt on the rider. It's really important that these stand out quite nicely too. I'm then going to take a 50-50 mix of Gawthor Brown and Dryad Bark, and I'm just going to start to highlight these areas, picking up the bits which are facing upwards and going to catch the most light. Now, generally, you can do a little bit of an area highlight here. You don't have to worry too much. If you do go a little bit too far, you can just use some Dryad Bark to feather in and actually correct some of that you're doing. The last step is optional, but I quite like it. I'm going to take some pure Gawthor Brown and just put a slightly sharper edge highlighter across those most raised ridges and folds. And this is really helpful across all that leather we've got on, in terms of the storage as well. It just starts to help pick everything out. For all the trim that we've got across the storage areas, such as the rifle, the kind of cases, the holster for the pistol, I'm going to paint that using Steel Legion Drab. So it's a little bit more of a, I don't know, a kind of a neutral brown. So what I'm going to do here is just generally drag my brush across those parts, and that should give me a very nice, simple way of doing this. If you go a little bit too heavily and you drop it down into some of those nooks and crannies, just take some Dryad Bark and paint it over, and that should be absolutely fine. For all the scales that we've got on the gloves and also on some of the equipment, I'm going to do this very easily. So make sure that it's all white and then paint it using Gore Grunter fur. It's so easy and it gives you exactly the effect to mimic what's on the box art. Now, like I said, I'm going to show you a different way of doing some of the other leather for all the straps. You don't have to do this. This is just how I want to. And to that end, I've taken some Rhinox hide and I'm painting this across all of the straps for the harness that we've got on the model. Again, it's just going to give us a little bit of differentiation. I'm also going to use it on the saddle leather as well. When that's completely dry, I'm going to go in with some Doom Bull Brown and start to highlight things up. Now, that Rhinox hide is the darkest part, so we're not going to use a shade. So generally, you can paint the majority of the straps using the Doom Bull Brown. To finish off, I'm going to take some Scrag Brown, which is a nice reddy brown, and I'm just going to drag this across the edges to get a nice crisp highlight on all of that leather. We'll do all of the bone areas next, and I'm going to base all of these using Xandri dust. So there's quite a few on the model, and we will have to take our time a little bit. So we've got obviously the saddle, we've got the chest piece on the beast, we've got a lot of bone on the rider in terms of the staff and the helmet. We've got the rifle, we've got the handle for the pistol, the handle for the knife, and I've also painted the bedroll with this. Once that's dry, I'm going to go in with a Shabti bone and start to highlight up. Again, we're not going to use a shade here. We're just going to leave that Xandri dust in all the recesses. Now, you might need 2 coats of a Shabti bone. It's better to do that and build up the highlight gradually than it is to flood the area. So again, we're painting all the elements that we painted with Xandri dust. So we've got the saddle, we've got the bone colour on all the weaponry. We've also then got the rider, so we've got the helmet. Now, in terms of the helmet, I'm not painting all of the bone that's coming off the helmet. I'm just painting the parts down towards the center, because if you look at the box art, the outside part of that bone is a little bit darker. And of course, I'm going to drag my brush across all the sharp edges on the staff to get a nice highlight. Talking of highlights, the last highlight we'll do on all of the bone is with Screaming Skull. So generally we can drag our brush along the sharp edges here to get that nice crisp highlight. Where we can't drag the brush, we're just going to have to very carefully paint it in and make sure that we're not going too heavy with it. If you do, that's fine. All you need is to take some Shabti bone and just cut into it a little bit so that that Screaming Skull highlight is nice and fine. To paint the teeth on the beast, I should have remembered to do this earlier, but I'm going to base them all using Xandri dust, being careful not to paint the tongue. And then I'll very carefully highlight them by dragging some Screaming Skull down all the edges to make them look nice and sharp. For that darker bone on the helmet, what I'm going to do is take some Rhinox hide. I'm going to thin it down with about 3 parts water to make sure it's really thin. And then I'm going to put my brush in and I'm going to wipe my brush on some paper towel. I'm then going to very carefully paint away from the center of the head towards the edge of those bones, and just do this fairly sparingly. And what you'll see is you get a little bit of a build-up and you'll get some dark. Now, it's not a perfect blend, I realize that, but it will just throw the eye as you look at it. And on the tabletop, it'll look great. We then have some gold elements to do, and I'm going to paint all of these using Dragon's Gold from 2 thin coats. What I'm looking to do here is just make sure I don't spill this on any bits of the model that I've already finished. We've got lots of Aeldari designs, such as what we've got on the chest piece for the harness. We've got the clips, we've got some jewelry on the beast itself as well, and we've got plenty of jewelry on the rider too. So again, just take your time, try not to spill this over anything that you've already finished and bits that are going to be a bit lighter later on. Shade all that gold using Reikland Flesh Shade. Again, kind of like part of this. Take your time, don't flood the area, and don't spill it on bits that are already done. I'm then going to go in with Glistening Gold, again from 2 thin coats. If you haven't got this, then Liberator Gold from Citadel's absolutely fine. What I'm looking to do here is highlight everything, leaving that darker colour in all the recesses. And this should make the gold pop really, really nicely. See, I've got hardly any on my brush and a really good tip. Now, there are some red elements, such as the ribbon that we've got coming from the staff, and also kind of that, I'm going to call it a cummerbund, part of the belt on the rider. So I'm going to base all of that using corn red, taking my time not to spill it. Now, I'm painting this over white, so I probably will need 2 coats. I'm then going to take some Evil Sun Scarlet and start to highlight up the bits that are catching the most light. So leaving that corn red in the deepest recesses. And this, again, once it dries, it blends a little bit, so it gives you a nice transition. You can always go in with a little bit more Evil Sun Scarlet. I'm also painting the eyes on the mask at this point as well. The last highlight on all the red is with some Wild Rider red, and what I'm looking to do here is just drag my brush across those sharp edges just to get a nice crisp highlight that, again, will help it stand out on the tabletop. To paint all of the white cloth, so the model's got white armor and white cloth. So the cloth is kind of a soft material, the armor's hard. So for all the soft material, all the cloth, I'm going to paint all of this using blue horror. Now, this does take 2 or 3 coats, but you'll get a really nice soft look to the material by doing it this way. So just be careful of bits you've already finished. I'm also painting the face mask with blue horror as well. Once that's dry, take a 50-50 mix of AK White and Blue Horror. Now, this is going to give you a very, very pale blue color, and use this to start highlighting, leaving the Blue Horror in the deepest recesses, and using this mix to really kind of pick out those sharpest raised edges. Don't forget, we've got the cloak across the top of the rider, but we've also got his kind of skirt as well that we need to get colored in. The final step is to take some pure AK white and just use this to edge highlight on the sharpest folds. And again, this gives you a really nice soft popping white that is going to look great on the tabletop and is not going to look too harsh. For all the armor, make sure there's no mistakes and that it's pure white to start with. Then take some Soul Blight Grey wash and cover this in its entirety. Now again, don't let it pool too heavily in the recesses. You can then go in with some pure AK white and start to highlight up and paint in the edges, just taking your time. Now, one thing I should have said, and if you haven't done it already, whilst you've got this AK white out, take it and paint all of the gems as well. So for the gems, I'm going to use these contrast paints. I've got Frost Heart, Doomfire Magenta, and also Corandrous Green. And all I'm going to do is just pick which gem I want to be which color and just very, very carefully add that across it. Once it's dry, I'm going to put a second coat just underneath it to give me a little bit of depth, and then a little white dot on the top. And this is a nice, easy, straightforward way of doing the gems. So there we have it. This Aeldari Exodite is ready for the battlefield, whether you're playing Kill Team or 40k. I think it is a fantastic model. I can't wait to paint the other two to get them all done. And of course, the Draconis. So let me know down in the comments if you enjoyed this video, if you've got any comments or questions. Make sure you check out all of my other content here. I'll see you next time.